We're building a full stack AI content planner. It's a SaaS app where you can manage social media posts for LinkedIn, X, and Instagram, handle post workflows from draft to scheduled, and generate high quality content using AI. To build this, we're using cutting-edge stack Next.js 16 with app router for the front end, TypeScript for type safety, and Tailwind CSS with Shadcn UI for a polished look. But for the backend, we're skipping the manual setup and using Insforge to handle our Auth database and AI logic. Insforge is the secret to building this fast. It's a backend as a service built for AI agents. By connecting it to Cursor or any code IDE via the MCP server, you don't have to write SQL or configure authentication. You just tell your AI agent what you need, and Insforge automatically create the Postgres SQL tables and set up the JWT Auth raw level security for you. We're using the Insforge model gateway and edge function to call Claude GPT-4 Gemini through a single API. This means no managing multiple API keys. The result is a scalable, secure SaaS built in record time. If you want to build at the speed of AI, check out the link for Insforge in the description. Before we get started, let me show you a quick demo what we're gonna make in this tutorial. Okay, so here you can see we'll have a minimal landing page. We don't focus on this landing page. Actually, we'll have lots of features. We'll create social media content 10x faster with AI. You can plan, generate, schedule compiling post for your LinkedIn, Twitter, that means X now, then Instagram, all in on dashboard. Okay, so to get started, actually at the beginning you will have to create an account on this platform. So that's why you can click this start for free, or you will have get started at the top. Okay, so let me click here. So if you click here, you will have options like you can just go with email password, or you can use GitHub or Google authentications. Okay, so you can click here to create your first account, choose your accounts. But for now, let me show you how you can just work with email and password based authentications. Okay, so for this, actually let me input my email address here. Okay, now let me choose a password. For example, I am just choosing a short password, and after then if I click sign up, look, it will just give you a verification code on your email. So let me check and put my verification code here. Okay, so now if I continue, it will redirect to the dashboard page. Okay, so at the beginning we'll have to create a project. Okay, so let me create a project. Let me click this plus new projects, and you will have to provide your project name. For example, I gonna create a social media post for Instagram. So that's why here it's all about, actually I am a developer, so AI for developers. Okay, something like this. And then we'll have to choose our social media platform. You can choose LinkedIn if you want to create LinkedIn style social media post. You need to choose Twitter or X if you have want to post your content on Twitter, or if you choose this, then it will be the same pattern that actually Instagram require. Okay, so let me choose Instagram here, then let me click this create projects. Okay, so now you can see a project is created, and this is your project, and inside this project actually you can just create post. Okay, let me go inside it, and here you will have two options. You can create post manually by clicking new post here. Let me click here, and a post is created. You can just edit it. You can write your post manually here, or what you can do, let me just delete it. I will create post with AI, so we don't create manual post here. Okay, so that's why to get started with generate post with AI, you will have these options. Let me click here, or you have the options at the top. Okay, so let me click here, and now you will have to illustrate your idea here, or you can just give a topic here. Okay, so for example, I can say remote jobs in UK as a developer. Okay, so this is my idea. We need a content about this topic. Then you will have to choose a tone. You can have professional tone, casual tone. Omar's tones or inspiration or educational purpose content. Okay, so you can choose any type of this, or you can just customize the tone if you need. I will show you that in the project building sections. Okay, so for now let me choose this inspirational. Okay, you can choose any of this. Okay, so no matter what type of content you want to make. Okay, so then let me click this generate content. Okay, it's actually generating. It takes few seconds to generate the content for Instagram. Okay, look, your content is created, and if you want to use this, you can just use this content, or you can just click this generate content to just newly generate any content. So for now actually I will use this content, so let me click here and you can see it will be added here. Okay, your content is here. You can just do lots of stuff. You will have the draft status right now. You can just make it to schedule or mark it to published. So if you publish this content, you can mark it as a published, and right now you can see it's actually published. That means you publish this content. Okay, so by following this way you can create a generated post from a dashboard. You will have several options. You can just create content for Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter, and I will show how you can just do more options on your dashboards. Okay, to work with. Okay, after then here you will have a options. You can just go to your profile, so you can see this is your profile. You can edit your profile, or here you will have another options. If you just sign out, you can just click this sign out options. So it's very minimal, but here our main task is I want to show you how you can a proper backend without working manually. You can just create user authentication using AI, then project management for social media posts, how actually AI powered content generation works with tone control and etc. And let me get started. At the beginning we are going to set up our projects. Okay, now we'll have to set up our project. So for doing that, at the beginning we'll have to go to a folder directory and now create a new folder, and for this actually we'll write our project name. So this is actually AI content planner, so that's why here I can simply type AI content planner. Okay, something like this. You can choose any name here. After then I would recommend to use actually cursor, but if you don't have cursor you can use VS Code or Claude. It's up to you. Okay, I will use cursor, then simply drag this project to cursor. Okay, so right now you will have this interface. Okay, so as it's a Next.js project, so that's why we need the command of Next.js project setup. Okay, that's why we will go to Chrome and simply search Next.js. Okay, then go to the nextjs.org. This is the official website. Just copy this command to set up a Shadcn project and open your terminal. Simply paste it here. So the command is here we'll have npx create next app at the rate latest. Okay, that means we are going to use Next.js latest versions. Okay, let me press enter and it will ask for your project name. We have already defined our project name, so that's why we'll skip it. So for that we'll have to provide a dot, then enter. Okay, now here to set up your projects you will have several options. If you want default settings, that means if you want to use TypeScript, ESLint, Tailwind CSS and app router, you can just choose this first one, or if you need to customize you can go to the third. I have the default option okay for me, so that's why when yes is okay, just simply press enter. It will take few seconds to create the projects, Shadcn projects or default projects. Here you can see it's actually installing dependency like Next, React and React DOM, and here we also need some dev dependencies. So that is actually Tailwind CSS, Tailwind CSS, Post CSS, nodes type, types of React, React DOM, ESLint, Tailwind CSS, TypeScript. Okay, so it's actually building. It takes few seconds. Let me wait until it's completed. Okay, it's done. Now if you just want to run your project, you can simply command npm run dev, and if you press enter, you will see you have a localhost URL, and you can just simply press Ctrl and click here to open it on your browser, and this is the default Next.js projects you have created. Okay, so right now in the next video we will just show you how you can install Shadcn on your projects. Okay, now to install Shadcn on our projects, what you will have to do, you will take a new tab, search Shadcn, then go to this ui.shadcn.com. Okay, so this is the website. Here you will have a pre-built component for Next.js projects. You can simply click this get started button. Now you can see here you will have to choose option to pick your framework. We are using Next.js, so that's why we will go to this Next.js options, and here look, you will have to command this npx shadcn at the rate latest space init. Okay, so we'll copy this command back to our code editor. Here we'll have to stop our terminal, so let me press Ctrl C and let me clear this and now paste it. Okay, npx space shadcn at the rate latest space init. Okay, let me press enter and yes. Okay, to proceed, so that's why I type y and press enter. We'll choose neutral. Okay, so look, it's installing dependencies. Okay, fine, so it's created, and after then what you will have to do, after then look, you will have to add components. So the way you have to add component in base add shadcn, then actually add, then your component name, we can just choose these options, and here we'll have to paste it. But before that, let me clear it. Here I will show you a trick. For example, if you command now, only button component will be added to our project. So here you will just get only button, but I actually don't want, I want to add more options here. So that's why, for example, after button we need card. So you can see we have this, look, you will have card here, so the command is, you can see card. Okay, so by following this way we just add several components here. So after then we need dialog, so let me go to dialog options. Okay, so look, here we'll just copy these options back to here, and after card we'll just add dialog, and after them we need input. Let me just add for you input level BEL level, then select, then we'll have separator SE PARA separator, then we need tabs. Okay, we need text area, then badge badge, and lastly we need to have drop down menu. Okay, DROPDOWN menu. Okay, we need this type of components to add in our project, so that's why let me press enter, and it's will add it in a on shorts. You don't have to add it separately. So here you can see inside this component folder you have added all of these components. Okay, now at this point we'll have to set up Insforge account and then integrate it to our project. To do that, let me back to our browser, and here we'll search Insforge. Here you will find insforge.dev. this is the official website. You will go inside this website. I'll provide this link in the video description, so you can check that link from there. Okay, so before we sign up, let me give you a little overview what Insforge can do for you. Okay, Insforge is actually an agentic native backend as a service platform, especially acting as a Supabase alternative. So you can think it's a alternative service of Supabase. Okay, so while platforms like Supabase are built for human developers, Insforge is built to be understood and controlled by AI coding agents like Cursor, Claude Code, Windsurf via the Model Context Protocol, that means MCP server. It uses MCP server to turn your coding into a full stack builders. You can add backend to your apps in second. Okay, so let me explore some features it will give you. For example, at the beginning we'll have the database options, and here this platform uses PostgreSQL database. It's automatically a schema generate where AI can create and modify tables using natural language. It has authentication system and user management. For these, actually, it will use built-in JWT based authentication or WAD support that AI agent can configure without manual wiring. Then AI model gateway. So its most interesting thing, you can use a unified API to call multiple LMS provider. For example, you can work with OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini using a single URL. I will just show you it in a later. Okay, then it will give you ist function, serverless TypeScript function for custom logic running on a global edge network. Then it has actually a storage system. It uses S3 compactable bucket for media and files, and lastly for AI integrations and direct connection to IDs through MCP server, allowing you AI assistant to see and build your backend. Okay, now at this point, here you have some starts. You can see it's actually 1.6x faster than Supabase and Postgres. Then it uses fewer tokens. It's almost use 30% fewer tokens. Fewer tokens means less cost. Okay, and for higher accuracy it has 1.7x faster. Okay, so I hope you understand, it's actually very powerful. But before that, let me consider the pricing. So I will go to the pricing tab, and here you can see we'll have three plan. We'll have free options, a starter package and pro package. Free options, you don't have to pay anything for this. You will just use it for your prototypes and side projects. It will give you $1 model AI model credits, 500 database size, 5 GB bandwidth and 1 GB storage. And for a starter, it's actually for $5 per month. And here actually you will get lots of benefit. You can see here you will have lots of benefit. And for the pro plan, you will get everything from a starter plus you will have $10 AI model credit per month, 8 GB database size, 250 GB bandwidth, 100 GB file storage system. Okay, so for now in this project I will use this free plan. So to do that, you can simply click this start for free, or you will have to create an account at the beginning. Let me click this start for free options, and here it will say log into your accounts. If you have already an account, you can just log into your account. If you don't have, just click this sign up now. Here you will have options. You can continue with GitHub or Google, or you can simply put your name, email, password. I will already have an account, so that's why I will continue with Google and choose my accounts. Okay, fine. At the beginning you will have to create your first projects. You will keep your project name. I will use the same project name here. So AI content planner. Okay, it's up to you. And then you have options to choose region. You can choose any of this region. I will keep it by default. Then click this create projects. So it's creating your projects and building your projects. It will take few seconds, so you will have to wait until it's completed. Okay, now you will have this interface. Let me give you what inside it. For example, we'll have dashboard. We will explore it later. And here we'll have users. So for example, your platform just take user registrations and login functionality. So all your users will have listed here. Then you will have tables. So these tables will contain all your database collections. Then you will have authentication system. You will have email auth, Google auth, and GitHub auth. If you need customization or if you need to add more provider, you can just have all of these options here. You can use Microsoft auth, Facebook auth, LinkedIn auth. It's up to you. Just add provider here. Then if you need more customization, you can go to the configuration setting, and here you can choose for email verifications. If you choose link based verification system, then you can choose link. Then if you need to stronger your password requirement, you can just add the requirement here. You can just provide the length of the password. Then for strongness, you can add numbers, special characters, lowercase, uppercase, all of these stuff. Then password reset system, you will have code based or link based. Okay, so then we will have database, you will have indexing system, will have function, trigger, policies, and more importantly, you will have SQL editor. So here you can actually write your query and run it from here to check if everything is working or not. And lastly, we'll have templates. If you work with some default business, for example CRM, then AI chatbot, e-commerce, Reddit clone, Instagram clone, Notion clone, you can use this database template from here easily. Then we'll have a storage system. As we said, it will use S3 bucket system. Then you will just store all your assets and images here. Then we'll have edge function, and we'll have secrets, keys, and other stuff here. Then real-time communication, we'll have these options here. You will have real-time messaging, permission, channels options, and all of this stuff. And more interestingly, I love this feature. It's actually model gateway. If you want to use multiple LMM features or multiple AI platform, so for example OpenAI, you can use the any versions of LLM given by the OpenAI. For example, if you want to use GPT 5.2 codex, so you can just simply toggle it. Okay, so it will be automatically added. Then you can go to Anthropic, you can use the latest model. You can go to Gemini and choose any of these versions. You will have DeepSeek, then Grok, and others stuff. So you don't have to collect API keys from different platform. You just toggle these options to enable LMS provide features. Okay, so this is most powerful features given by this Insforge. Okay, so I love these features and you can explore it. You can easily calculate the cost. Obviously here, if you use GPT 40 mini, then its actually input price will be token price 0.515 0.15 per million token, and output will be 0.60 per million token. Okay, so it's more cost efficiency strategy. You can just follow here. Okay, you will have visualizer. You can just drag and drop to say what it will have to do, and we will have deployment options. Okay, so for now actually I will back to the dashboard, and here to get started you will have to install Insforge. Okay, so to do that it's actually one click. You will choose your IDE. You can have options to choose Cloud, Terra, Windsurf, or Antigravity, Codex, and other platform. So simply choose your platform, then just click this add to cursor, and it will pop up open cursor here. And right now if I just close all of this stuff, you can see it automatically just install MCP server for you. So the name will be Insforge, then this is the command, and this is the argument. It will take API keys for you and API base URL here. Okay, so now you can simply click this install button, and look, it's actually loading tools. So Insforge will added 17 tools enabled for you, and all of this stuff is here. Okay, it's fine. After then back to here, and we'll have to click this next. And right now to verify this, here you will have to just copy this prompt and look at here. So right now this is actually not connected to our project, so that's why I will back here and now open the chat by using Ctrl L, and here simply paste the command. I am using Insforge as a backend platform. Call Insforge MCP to fetch docs tool to learn more about Insforge instructions. So simply just click here, and it will just call the fetch docs tool to connect it with these projects, and let me run it. Okay, it's connected, and right now if you back here, you can see your MCP is connected perfectly. Okay, so we will have some little stuff to be done. For example, we are using it with Next.js, so that's why we'll just install some packages for this. Let me go to Insforge Next.js. Okay, and now here we will go to the docs, and let me go to the docs. Okay, so under this SDK and examples, if you go this tab, then you can see you will have several options, and from the bottom you will choose your platform. For example, I am working with Next.js. Under these UI components, you can see you will have to copy this command, copy this back here. We'll open the terminal and let me clear it. Here paste it. We'll install Insforge React at the red latest, and we'll also, let me choose where is Next.js. Okay, don't use this. We'll have directly use Next.js component options here. You will have to copy this, and now remove these. Actually, let me close this. We'll open the terminal again, then paste it here. And also for SDK, we'll have something like this. For SDK, we'll have, let me click this SDK, Insforge SDK. Okay, we'll have to choose this. Let me copy it and paste it here. Okay, so Insforge SDK, I will going to install all of these stuff. Okay, it's going to install, and let me back here. We'll go to the Next.js options, and here we need to create a env file, and we'll keep this. Okay, so let me copy this and back here. Actually, at the root you will create .env.local, and inside this file actually you will have this. Okay, this two environment variable, just paste it here. Okay, you need to have next public Insforge base URL. Okay, and then anion key. Okay, so how you can get it? To get it, actually here, let me back here. So where you will get actually Insforge base URL, so you will get it here. So this is your dashboard. Let me close it. Here you will have MCP connected, and after then advanced options, you can see this is actually your project URL. Okay, so this is your project URL. Let me open it here. So this is your backend projects actually. Okay, so this is your backend API key. I will keep it here. Okay, and after then for the anion key, so what is the anion key? Okay, so you will get it using actually an API call. So the API call will be, for example, your website URL, then API key, what tokens, anion. Okay, so you will have to hit this URL. You will have to hit this URL. Then you will from here actually, let me copy it. Let me copy it, take it, open in on a new tab. Here you will have this URL. So you just replace your app URL here, then choose post request. From go to this authorizations tab, click this bearer token, and here you will have to input your token. From where you will get your token. Your token is your API key. Look, this is your API key. Just paste your API key here, and now if you hit, you will get a access token. So this token is your anion key. Okay, so I just keep it here using a quotation. Okay, so I hope you how you can get this anion key and base URL. Okay, I have done the setup right now. In the next video actually we'll start building our projects. Okay, in the previous video, we have set up Insforge base URL and anion key. And at this time, what you'll have to do, look, we'll have a guideline here. So if you want to use Next.js, then you will have to follow all of these steps. We have completed the first two steps. So we installed Insforge on our project, then we set up our environment key, and now at this point we'll have to add a middleware. Okay, to create a middleware to your projects, look, you will have middleware.ts, but it's actually not, because in our latest Next.js update, instead of middleware.ts we'll have to use proxy.ts. So let's do that. What we'll do here, let me close this stuff, at the root of our projects, we'll have to create a new file that will be proxy, proxy proxy.ts. Okay, so it's mandatory you don't use middleware.ts, it will be proxy.ts. Okay, so here what you will write, look, based on this documentation, at first you will have to import this line. Okay, we will copy and paste at the beginning, and we'll also need to import type. Let me import, then it will be next request from next server. Okay, we'll just import this two line. After then, here you can see we will have a default Insforge middleware, but we don't do that here. We just copy this portion, and back to here we will just make a handler. So we'll have const handler, handler, and we'll paste this here. Okay, so here the thing is we will have use our public Insforge base URL. So make sure this is the same URL name here. So you can just check it by copying it, and here you must have to match it. So let me paste it. Okay, it's matched. Otherwise, you can do that. You can replace this link. Okay, so by the following way, you can just copy this URL by pressing Ctrl C and just replace this. Okay, replace this, and here you will have to do by your one. Okay, so this is the thing you will have to done first. Then what you will have to do after, then here look, we'll have config, so we'll just copy it and then we'll paste it here, and in between it we'll in between these two, let me just fixed it. In between these two, we will have a function. So we'll have const export function, and this function name will be proxy, and here it will actually receive a request, request request, and that would be next request. And here, as it's a function, we will have something like this, and from here we will return this handler. Okay, so we'll simply return handler, and inside this handler, as it's a middleware, we will have to pass our request inside it. Okay, something like this. So if you do this, then your middleware file is okay, and in the next video we will show how you can create API route for your auth. Okay, after creating this middleware file, now we'll have to create API route, and it can enable server-side rendering and cookie-based authentication by using few lines of code. You can see we'll have only 6 or 7 line of code, and using this you can enable your authentication system. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, at first look here, you will have app. Inside app you will have API route, auth, and route.ts. Okay, so what you can do that, let me back here. Here we'll have our app. Inside this app we'll create a new folder that is actually API, and inside this API folder we'll have another folder. So select this and then create a new folder. It will be auth. So you will just make sure use the exact name as I am doing, and inside this auth we'll have route.ts. Okay, route.ts. It's very simple. And finally, what you will have to simply copy this code. Okay, and back here paste it here. Okay, you are done, but here you need to be a little bit customization here. Okay, you will have to replace your base URL. So I will just copy this page URL and keep it here for safety. Okay, so right now it's perfect. We don't have to do anything here. So by using these actually router, it will manage your authentication. It will create new accounts. It will give you accounts information. It will enable you to delete user their accounts. And this is very simple. Look, only few lines of code can enable authentication system whenever you are using Insforge. Okay, so look, this step is done. Next we'll have to create a Insforge provider component, and then it will be used in your layout. Okay, so you will have to do that. In the next video we will complete this process. Okay. Okay, now we'll have to create Insforge Provider component. Okay, so it's very simple. At the root of your app, you will just create providers.tsx. So let me just follow this step. Here I am just on it, and look, we'll have to create it inside the app folder. So this is our app folder, and inside this app we'll have to create a new file. The file name will be providers.tsx, and then press enter. After then you simply copy this code and back to here paste it. Okay, so it's very simple. It will create a function, and this function will receive a child, because as a provider you must have to pass children inside actually Insforge browser provider. But here is an error. So the error is actually you will have to create a leave function, okay, in force. Okay, so we'll have just created all of this stuff, but it's actually missing. We'll have to fix it. Okay, but we'll do that. But what actually happened, so whenever you will use this browser provider, it's actually check if you are authenticated. If you are authenticated, then it will just redirect to the dashboard. If you are not authenticated, then it will redirect to the public routes. Look, it will redirect to the home. So that's what happening when you are registered to the platform, then it will actually redirect to the dashboard. Otherwise it will redirect to the home page. Okay, so now let's make this. Okay, so let's make this file. So to do that, here you can see you will have lib folder, and inside this folder what you will do, inside this lib folder you will have to just create a new file, and the file name will be you can just use insforce. It's actually configuration file, insforge.ts. okay, something like this. And here you do have to create a client. So import something from, let me define at the rate Inforce / SDK. Okay, something like this. And inside it actually it will have create client. Okay, create client. So we are done. After then what you will have to do, here we'll have to call create client. Okay, then let me export const insforge, and here we'll call create client, and it will receive an object. Inside this object we'll pass our base URL and anion key. Okay, so let me pass base URL, and this will be process dot env dot this public URL. So base URL, let me copy it and paste it here. Otherwise URL, so let me check, is it URL? Yes, URL. And otherwise it will be something like this. It will receive the direct URL. So I will simply copy this and paste it here. Okay, paste it here. So after then it will receive an anion key. So an anion key, and this will be the same. So here, sorry, so here the anion key will be, sorry, let me, okay, I think it's actually, you don't need this. You can have something like this. It will be not a you must have to provide it. So that's why we can use a not a null assertion here. So it's actually done. And right now here let me fix it. We'll have inputs. Okay, so right now we can see the error has gone. So after completing these two steps, what next? We'll have to use this provider to our layout, root layout. So you will have to do this way. Okay, Insforge provider on our root directory. So to do that, here we'll go to layout dot, where is layout.tsx, and inside it here you will see you will have body, and inside here, actually inside here you can have to use your provider. So let me Insforge provider. Okay, we'll have to import it. Let me import it from providers. Okay, So import it from providers. Here is the providers. Then inside it, actually, you will pass your children. So now you are okay. So if you now run your projects, we haven't run yet. If we run dev, so we'll run your projects, and inside this localhost URL, we can see uh, something like that is okay. So we almost are doing great. We'll have all of this stuff, and in the next, we'll have to implement authentications. So we'll have login, we'll have user options, we'll have logout options, and other step. Okay, so we'll do a step by step, so no matter, don't worry about, just follow this and try to practice. Okay, for now you can see we'll have this interface, and now we need to customize our landing page. So to do that, here you will have to back here, and let me close it. You will go to page.tsx, and here you will need to completely redesign this page. Okay, so here you can see if you just write something, for example home page, so it's actually the home page. Okay, so I don't design this entire page. I will just give you the source code, so you can just copy paste the page.tsx and just replace it here. Okay, something like that. I have did that. So here the main thing is that if you check your website, you will have something like this interface. You will have a header section contain company logo, sign in and get started. Then we'll have a hero section, some text, subtitle, then button, then we'll have some box. It's actually very easy. You can do it, or you can just copy paste to make this type of landing page. Here we don't have anything to do. Actually, it's a very common design. I hope you already can do that. If you pause this video, you can just manually do it. Okay, or use AI to just make some ready-made landing page for doing that stuff. Okay, but here we need to change some color. So for doing that, we'll back to the here layout page, and we can say it will be class name dark. Oh, okay, so right now you can see your website interface is much cleaner right now. Okay, just using these actually class. And if you need to customize, you can go to the global.css, and here you can just change any theme you need. For example, if you want to use Shadcn theme, so Shadcn UI. So inside these, actually you have themes. You can use any types of themes. For example, what is actually themes? Maybe let me get a little bit. Here we will have themes section. Okay, theming. Okay, this is the theming, and if you need, you can just customize your theming. It's up to you. Here you can see a list of themes, and if I just say theme, and here you can see you will have vast options. So you can just choose this type of theme. You can have green, you can have default theme, orange theme, red, rose, violet theme, something like this. Okay, so you can choose any type of theme from here. Actually, simply copy this code. You can see you will have copy this code, and you will have to use it here. Okay, you will have to replace this file, and it will be working perfectly. So I don't actually display how you can do that. If need, you can just comment. I will provide a video about theme customization, but for now we'll have okay. So okay, after finding this, actually here you can see we'll have several things. Here we'll have sign out. By using this component, actually look, sign out happening by Insforge /next. That means we're using Insforge to sign in, sign out, sign in button, and sign up button. So what is this button? Look, this is actually sign in, and here you will have this sign in button. So this button is exactly coming from this sign in button, and at the top we'll have sign out. That means if user signed in, then it will show sign out. If not, then it will show sign in. Okay, so here we'll have get started button. So this is our get started button. We're using actually Insforge component to make our authentication flow easy. Okay, so if actually user signed in, then he can go to the actual dashboard page, something like that. Okay, so after doing that, what actually happened? For example, let me try to create an account. So here you can see right now we will have 0 users, so we don't have any users. So we'll try to create an account. So here we can click this start for free, or just click this get started. So let me click get started. We'll have email password option or Google and GitHub authentication option. Okay, let me try to use Google. So I will click here. You don't have to do anything. Okay, it's redirect. Choose your accounts. I'm just choosing my account, and you can see it will actually redirect to the dashboard page. We don't have dashboard page, so that's why it actually says page couldn't be found. But actually the authentication is working. If you redirect to the home page, you can see this is actually, you can see this is, and right now we'll have dashboard redirect option. Okay, so that means we'll have our account created. And if you back here and back to the users, refresh it. Let me refresh, and you can see actually you will have on users. And if you go to users, you can see this is the current users we have created using Google provider. So this is the time of creation, and this is the ID, this is the email address. So as I said, we will have this. Okay, and if you check table, so right now we don't have any other collections. So using here actually we can just create an accounts. Okay, so for now actually for example, let me delete this. Okay, let me delete this. I will delete this user, and after deleting it actually if I reload, you can see it's actually again showing sign in and get started. I will again click this get started button, and for now actually I will try to get started with email password. Okay, so for doing this, let me use a temp email. I will just remove all of this stuff. I'll go to temp mail, and I will use a temp email to create an accounts here. So let me check if it's working or not. Okay, I will provide the email, and let me choose the same password. Okay, if I just click sign up, then it's actually send you a 6-digit code you will have here, and within a few seconds you can get that code. Okay, so here is your code. You will have this code. Let me just copy this code and now paste it here. Continue. Okay, the authentication is done. You can see you are redirecting to the dashboard. If you don't have accounts, you cannot go to the dashboard page. Okay, so let me go to localhost 3000, and you can see you will have redirect to the dashboard. And again here you can see you will have this user email. So it's actually provided by email, and email verification is false. Okay, so I hope you understand how it's actually working by using simply a few lines of code. Look, we are just using here some few lines of code, and for authentication purpose we'll have only 5 to 6 line of code. And now these features are implemented and maintained by actually Insforge. You don't have to do anything here. Okay, I hope you understand this, and in the next video we'll go dive into more important things towards our AI powered content creation. Okay, so our login and registration system is working perfectly, and at this time whenever you click dashboard, then it is redirecting to the dashboard page, and this page is not actually created, so that's why page couldn't be found. Okay, so right now we will create a dashboard route and then create pages and other stuff. Okay, so here the one thing is that before we get started, I need to add toaster. Okay, so that's why I will simply search sonar toaster. Okay, toast or something like this. So it's actually a Shadcn component. We will add this, and the way we'll have to do this, we'll have simply copy this back to cursor, and here open the terminal. You can just stop it by pressing Ctrl C. Let me clear it again, paste it here. Okay, so it's added, and after then let me run our project npm run brave. Okay, fine. And what next? Actually here on this layout.tsx, after this actually children will import toaster. Okay, we'll simply import toaster to star from actually sonar. Okay, component UI sonar, and let me self close it. So you can see we added this component toaster sonar. Okay, perfectly added, and right now we are almost okay. So let me close the stuff, and here now we will just going to make a dashboard route. So for doing that, here let me close all of this stuff, we don't needed that. Here inside this app, actually inside this app, what you can have to do, so inside this app we'll have to create route. So the route will be dashboard. So inside app we'll create a new folder that will be dash board board, and inside this, to make it a route, we'll have to define a page.tsx rfc reactor functional component. We can say this is actually dashboard page. Okay, we'll have to export it properly, something like that. And right now if you back to here, you can see you will have dashboard page here. Okay, so it's fine, but need to add a little bit customization because we need a layout. So that's why inside here in this dashboard the tsx will create a new file. Actually it will be layout.tsx. Okay, so here we can say this will be, for example, rafc reactor functional component. We'll say this is actually dashboard layout. Okay, and this layout will be shared in these routes, and here right now you can see dashboard layout. To make it become a layout, here you will have to pass children. Okay, so this will be children. React node will have to define this way, and inside this div we can simply just do a little bit customization. We will have to have a sidebar. Then let me say something like this. We will have a div, and this div will be sidebar, and after this sidebar we'll have main, and inside this main we'll pass our children. Okay, something like this. Okay, let me do some styling here. For example, we will apply some class name to this div, and this will be flex. Apply flex, will apply mean height screen, and right now for this main we'll have class name and it will be flex on, so it will take as much width it needs, and then it will be actually overflow hidden. Okay, or okay, overflow auto is fine, hidden or auto is fine. So right now you can see you will have sidebar, then dashboard page. Okay, fine, this is perfect. And for this actually instead of writing sidebar here, we can create a component, and this component will be imported here. Okay, so inside this, look, inside this component folder, let me close all of this stuff. We'll click component, not UI. Inside this component we'll create a new file that will be sidebar.tsx, and we will say this will be a sidebar. We will have rfce reactor functional component, and say this is actually sidebar. Okay, and now we'll import this sidebar here. Instead of this, we can simply import sidebar from component folder. Let me self close it. Okay, right now you can see perfect. Now we will design this sidebar. So how you can design it? For example, we need some nav items, so that's why here we'll have const nav items, and it will be a array of objects. We will have, for example, we will have href for dashboard. Then we'll have actually we'll have label will be dashboard, and then we'll have icon name. So icon name will came from actually Lucid React. So here we'll have to import something from Lucida, Lucida React. And what will import here for actually dashboard will have layout dashboard. Then we can have to import folder open, folder folder open. And lastly we need chap, zap, chap. Okay, so here we'll use which type of icon? Layout dashboard. Okay, so this is an object. We'll copy it and then paste it here. And the second one will be for projects. You can just customize more, and this will be, for example, label will be, for example, projects. And here we can say this will be / dashboard / projects, and we will use folder open icon. Okay, so we'll have nav items, and after then what we'll do, we need to use path name. So that's why we'll have const path name, use path name. We'll have to import it, and whenever you use this, you will have to add use client at the top. Okay, so right now everything is fine, and now we'll focus on the design part. Okay, so here instead of this we'll use a aside. Okay, this is a semantic HTML tag, and inside this we'll have a div, and this div will say something like this. What it will be, for example, this div will contain a link. We'll just import link from next link, and inside it we will have, for example, not a logo, it will be jap icon. Let me select it, and here we'll have obviously have a strip will be, for example, dashboard. Okay, and this jap will have some styling. We will say class name, and this class name will be, for the jap will have size 6. Okay, and text will be primary color. And for this link actually we will have some styling. We can have something like this. We can say this link will be flex item center gap 2, and this div will have some class name. This div will have p of 6. Then we can say border b. So border b, then we'll have border by 40%. And right now if you back here, you will have something like this. Look, you will have something like this. And after this jab we'll have a span, and we'll say this will be our website name, something like this. And right now you can see this is okay. So we can just, instead of this dashboard, we can redirect to the home page. It's up to you. So whenever someone click it, it will redirect to the home page, and if you click dashboard, then you are on dashboard page. Okay, perfect. After this, actually after happening this, what you will do, look, we need some navigational menu. So after this div we will have nav, and inside this nav we'll just map our nav items. Okay, nav items dot map, and each time we will get item, and then from here we will have something like this, curly braces, and from here we'll have to return. What will return inside this, we will return link. Okay, so we'll return link. So this link will have href, and this href will contain item.href, and key will be item.href. And inside these actually, after these actually we will have curly braces, item dot label. Okay, label, label. So right now you can see you will have dashboard and projects. Okay, so after then we need to style it. For example, here on this nav we'll say something like this. We'll have flex 1, so it will take as much space as need. Then we'll have 4 space y, actually it will be 1. Right now we'll have something like this. After then, here we'll have lots of stuff. Look here, after this label, here we can just use icons. So we'll have something like this item.icon, and it will be so muted, something like this. And right now you can see you will have this. So you will have this type of icon. You can just do it based on activity. So that's why what you can do here, we'll have const is active. So you can check if this link is active based on the path name. Based on the path name, equal a strip war it starts with something like this. It starts with items dot href. Okay, something like this. And right now if you just click, then it will redirect to the dashboard page, but I think right now it's okay. So after just having this here on this link, actually on this link we'll have some class name. I just copied this type of class name. Okay, and let me import in from utils, and right now you will have, look, this is your dashboard. So this is selected. I think this is perfect. So after having all of these stuff, you can customize it as much as you need. It's up to you. I don't spend much time on it, but after this nav, actually I will have a footer. So it will be a div, and this div will contain another div. So inside this div we will have user button. So user button from actually Insforge / next. Then after then we'll have a span tag. Say this is actually account. Okay, something like this. We'll add some styling. Here we can have class name, something like this, and after this div we'll style. So style is based on your need, what you actually will be needed here. For example, we can have px3 py2. Okay, something like this. And for this span, actually we will have uh, sometime this type of text styling. Okay, so now you can see we'll have this. Okay, we'll have your accounts, and this is accounts. If you click, you will have these two options. So everything is fine, but it's actually not at the bottom. So how it will be fixed here? So look, to fix this, actually we'll have to focus on these aside. Okay, here we'll apply some styling. For example, we'll make it hidden. Then on medium device it will be flex, and we'll add width 64. We'll have border right, border dot r dash r. We'll have border dash border 40%. Then we'll have pg card. The card will be opposite of 50%. Then we'll have flex column. Then is screen, and it will be sticky, sticky, and that would be sticky at the top 0. Okay, so right now it's perfect. Look, we'll have this type of sidebar here. Okay, so I think you understand how we're gonna make this type of sidebar. And the next thing is that after making this sidebar, we need to design our page. So for doing that, here we can have a page, and we'll design this page. So how this page will be designed and how you can do that, we will just check this design in the next video. Okay, so now you can see that we will have this type of interface. We will need to design our dashboard page. So to do that, here let me close all of this stuff, and inside this dashboard we'll have page.tsx. We need to design this page. Okay, so at the beginning, let me create an interface. This interface is for actually project. We'll have different type of projects, PROGSCT project, and the interface inside this will have id string, then we'll have uh, name that would be string. So this is project name, and we'll have to use actually semicolon to separate each of them, as it's a TypeScript format. And then we'll have platform. So which platform we'll use, is it actually LinkedIn or X or Instagram? Then we'll have created underscore at, and that would be string. And after then we'll have page count. Okay, so page underscore count, it will be a number, and we'll make it actually a optional type. Okay, so right now we'll have done it, and inside it actually we will start building. At the beginning we need our user. So for example, to get our user, what we will do, we need to get user. So that's why we will extract our user from actually use user hook. Use user from actually Insforge /next, we will call this, and now we will get our user from here. So if you actually check, let me console log clg user, and you will get the user. So here you can see use user hook is not actually usable in client. So that's why what you will have to do, we'll have to make these as a use client component. And right now you can see that is gone, and if you inspect, you will just see here is your users data. You can see name, email id, and profile. Okay, so all of this is here. Okay, so after then, what next? After then, yeah, whenever you are using here, you will have another properties like is loaded. Okay, so we'll check if user is loaded or not. Okay, now the next thing is that after getting these, we need data. Okay, so that's why we need actually project data. So what we will do, we will remove it, and after this, actually after this, we will define a use state hook. So use state will be, we'll have projects and set projects, and we'll say it will be use state, and we'll use project array, and this will be right now empty. We'll use this interface here, so no worries about it. And after then we will have loading state. So that's why we'll make sure is loading, and initially we'll make is loading actually true, and whenever we need it we'll make it false. Okay, initially it will be true. After then, what you will have to do, we'll have to define a fetch function here. So that would be, for example, we'll have const aptc page projects. To fetch from database, it will be use callback hook, use callback. So use callback hook will came from React. Okay, we'll import it, and right now inside this use callback we'll have a async function, async async function. Okay, something like this. So why use callback is not imported? Okay, it's imported, but here inside it, if not user, so if not user, then we will return from here, ret, and return from here. Okay, why is it is happening? Use callback. Okay, so the thing is here will have actually, let me cut it. So use callback hook actually takes through thing. Let me check it here. After this we'll have a dependency block, and right now it's okay, and this dependency will depend on. So the thing is that after here we'll make set loading true, and after then we will just destructure data. So from where we will get the data, we will have a wait will call Insforge. Insforge. So Insforge will came from actually lib folder. Okay, Insforge will came from lib folder, and based on it we'll call database method. And then we'll have few options. For example, we'll have right now we'll have dot from, and we will say it will be actually, let me add some queries. Let me back it here, I need some space. So we'll have fetch from actually projects. Look here, actually whenever you have things, you will have the tables, and here you will have a project tables, and you will get the project data from there. Okay, so after these projects, what we need, we'll have to select. So select method, and this will be select. What it will select, it will select the everything. So we'll use asterisk, and then we'll use a comma, then we'll define post id. Okay, post based on id. Okay, so after then, what next, we'll have check equality. That means if the user has the post, we don't post show post of others, then we'll make order. So order will be it's actually based on created at, and we'll make it descending order. So here we'll have annotated something like this. So here actually we will fetch data of projects from actually Insforge database, and it will be selected by post id and everything, and it will be the user's id. That means user's project information will be displayed here, and we will make it ordered based on the ascending or descending order. So here we'll see where descending order. Okay, so after then, what we'll have after this, actually if we have the data, we will apply a if condition here. If we have data, then what you will do, if we have data, we will just make some improvements here. So what is the improvement, we will just format the data. So here with counts, and here we'll map the data. So that's why to map the data here, the data type will be as record, RECORD record, and it will be a record of, here it will be a record of string comma unknown. Okay, then it will just redirect to a array, and after then what we'll do, we will map map. Okay, fine, and each time we will get a projects. So p in short of projects, then we'll have arrow parentheses, then we'll have curly braces. Okay, what's the error is here? So the error is actually data as record. So right now let me check it. So maybe we don't have data yet, so that's why we will have this type of warning. So let me say it, construction a type that sets to a parameter k of t. Okay, we will fix that later. Inside it we'll have id will be p of id, and it will be at string. Then we'll have name, platform, and all of this stuff. So here post count, we need to have some modification here. We'll say this will be array of dot is array. Then after then we'll have p dot post. Then if this, then we will conditionally say if this, then we will have p dot post dot leng trace length, otherwise we'll have 0. Okay, something like this. And after this line, we will simply define set projects with counts, and after this if block, we'll simply define false. Okay, so here we'll have issues, we'll have to fix it. Let me make it unknown, so that it will be right now okay. Whenever we'll have data, it will actually work. So I think right now it's fine. And after this block, we'll have use effect hook, and this will call a anonymous error function and a dependency. Okay, inside this we'll check if is loaded and user. If is loaded and have user, then we will face the projects. Otherwise, here we will make the dependency will be is loaded user and face projects. Okay, so it's perfect right now, and see we will have all of this stuff. Okay, after then what next? Actually we will check if actually is loaded or in the loading state. We'll say if not is loaded or loading state, we'll have to show a loading UI here. So inside this we can just simply return a loading state. So we can have div. So I just for now actually just show a simple loading, something like this. Let me import loader icon. Okay, so we'll have something like this, loading projects. You can just style based on your need, it's up to you. Okay, so right now you can see we'll have this here we'll have this type of loading. Look, if I reload, you will have this type of loading projects. Okay, so when this is done, then it will actually show us the information. So right now actually we have nothing to show, so that's why it's actually not fetching perfectly. But let me check, everything is fine. And after these actually what you will show. So after this, here we'll have to display this. So to display this, I will actually don't manually do this. Actually we will use component. I will give all the component. What you will have to do, you will go to the repository. So I will go to the repository and just show you how you can collect your component. So I don't actually design the whole component. It's very boring. Inside this component folder, you can just copy the entire component. We'll have the several component here. You will have to copy all of this component. Look, we'll have to copy AI generated dialog box, create projects dialog box, postcard or project card, and all of these actually. So as I need all of these stuff, what I can do, I can just copy paste it and take it. So for now, let me do that. Okay, here you can see I have all of these stuff. And after then actually for the design purpose, I will simply copy the design and replace this design here. Okay, let me import it. For example, we call dialog, then we'll have folder open. So it's actually consider React, then we'll have project card and all of this stuff. So after then it's still loading. So let me just fix this loading state. So I have to fix this type of loading. Actually for checking this here, let me check if we'll have users login or not. So CLG will have user. Maybe the user is already expired. So if I just refresh and see, the user is null, so we don't have user logged in. So what we can do that, so we can simply hard reload it. We'll back to here. So here look, the account is not ready here, so we'll have to sign in again. So let me sign in, and for this I will choose the account I used previously. Okay, so right now you can see the interface is just working. Okay, so our UI is almost better right now, and you can see if user is login, you will see this interface. Firstly, it will be loaded, then you will see this type of interface, and if you check, you can just write your projects. For example, for AI for developers. Then you can choose a platform. Okay, So I just skip the design part because it's actually not a big deal. And see, I just said create projects, this is a component, so this component is here. Then we'll have create project dialog, so this dialog is here. Look, this dialog is here. Okay, so I also skip this project card, so that we can have display whenever we'll have project. Okay, so what happened if we click this create projects? So look, it's actually creating fail to create post. Why actually fail to create post? Because we need to write logic, we didn't complete the project. So whenever you just click, you can see it's actually try to face records from projects, but it's actually cannot. Okay, so that's why it's actually not found. So we need to fix that stuff. So to do that, what we'll have to do, at the beginning we'll have to write apis for this. So inside this api folder, we'll have to create a new folder, and this folder will be generate, generate, and inside this we'll have routes.ts file, and inside it at the beginning we'll need some prompt, a specific word. For example, if I paste it, you can see we have some logic. Whenever we're generating content, we will say this prompt professional content, we just hint the AI what will be prompt with our questions we will ask. Okay, so this is the prompt we need to have. And at the beginning, let me import next response, request response. We'll also import what what from SDK Next.js. We will actually use Insforge, then it will be Next.js /server. Okay, something like from here, not middleware, it will be server, server server. It's actually will be a small auth. Okay, after then we will have another call, so import, so it will be create client, so from actually SDK. Okay, so we'll have this several inputs, and after then actually we'll have a post request logic. Okay, so we can simply export ASY async function. The function name will be, as we are doing post request, we'll have post, then we'll have something like this. And now we will say it will receive request RE QUEST request. The request will be next request, and right now inside here we'll have try catch. Okay, try catch block, we will write the catch block here, so it will be error. And right now inside it we'll just provide console dot error, and that will be console error. And from here we'll just return JSON format, a message failed to generate content, and we'll just provide the status code, something like this. And in this try block, what you will have to do, in this try block at the beginning we need to check the token. So that's why here we'll simply check token from await. So await, as it's async function, we can await what we'll call auth, and from here we'll just destructure token. Okay, so after this token we need to check if this token, if not this token. So if not this token, we will just display a message, so something like this. We'll just say, we'll just add a error, console dot error, and we will simply say generate, and we will say something like this. So no what token found, and after then we will just respond a message unauthorized access. Okay, something like this. But if the token have, we need to get the body, so that's why we'll have const body body, and we'll await, we'll get it from request.json Okay, so this is our body, and now from this body we'll destructure the platform. So we'll have const, we'll have platform, then we'll have topic, and then we'll have tone, then we will have body. Okay, so we'll destructure by following this way. So now we'll have conditional checking. So firstly we'll check if not platform or not topic, we will have to display message, say something like this. We will say return next response and say missing required uh, field or topics, something like this. Fields such as, so platform and topic are required. And after then what you will have to do, so here we will call Insforge a force, and we'll call create client. Inside it we will pass actually base URL, and after then we will pass is function token, ed is function token. The token will be the token we will have. Okay, simply like this way. After then we need to systematic prompt, so that's why here we'll have const system prompt, prompt prompt, and that would be, it will be platform prompts, and inside this platform prompts we will have a square bracket and we will say platform. Okay, or we can just simply add something like this, platform prompt, platform platform prompts will be the default will be LinkedIn. Okay, something like this. After then what you will do, we'll have tone instructions, which tone our model will follow. So that's why here we'll have const tone instruction, and it will be tone. If tone happens, then we will simply say a backtick /n adopt a adopt a at the red tone, and otherwise will be empty tone. And after then what you will have, we'll have completion. Okay, so we'll have const completion, and this will be await. We'll have Insforge dot AI dot chat, then we will call completions dot create, and here we will pass our model. So we can simply define model will be we'll use a GPT model, mini model, then we'll have message prompt, and here we'll say it will be by default first one will be roles will be system, content will be systemic prompt, then tone instruction. After then will be have a role. So and the content here we will do a little bit customization. We will say, so write a at the rate platform post about this topic. We'll have to customize our prompt like this way. And finally after this block, after this message, we will have temperature 0.7 or 8, so it will have a comma before it, so 0.8. okay, so this is fine. After then we have to a content. We will have content will be completion sound 0 message dot content, we will trim it, otherwise will be empty. And lastly we will return the response with the content with a status code. Okay, so our options is completed. And after doing that, what next, actually we will have to create a route for actually post. So here the route will be projects. So inside this we'll have projects, and inside it we'll have layout dot tsx, and we'll copy the same layout we'll have here. We'll copy this layout and paste it here and say this will be actually the layout for actually project layout. So we'll customize it. This will be project layout. Okay, something like this, and everything will be fine. So right now we're almost ready, but before we just do anything, inside this we'll have a dynamic route, will have an id, and inside this we'll have a page.tsx. Okay, here we'll have dynamic post. So what we will do, we'll just customize it based on our need. Project details page. Okay, something like this, and in the next video we'll customize this page. Okay, now we'll have to design this page, but before that let me create interface for this. Okay, so here, as it's a project details page, we will have the interface for post and projects, and then some other interfaces. So let's do from the beginning. Okay, at first we will create a interface for post. We'll have interface, and the interface name will be post, and now we'll have curly braces, and it's very common. So is post have an id, then we'll have content will be a string format, then we'll have what happens. So for example, we'll have a status, then schedule at and created at. We will have very basics interface of a post. Then we will have basic interface of project. So that is actually interface. Then it will be for projects. And right now inside it we will have id. So that will be a string. We will have name. So name will be obviously a string, so it's an string, and then we'll have platform. Okay, so platform could be several. For example, we'll have LinkedIn, Twitter, or something like that, so it will be string format. Okay, look here, actually whenever you see here, you will have several platforms. So to do have this, we'll just make some metadata of it using interface. So how you can do that, let me add it at the top. Here we'll define const, we'll have platform meta, and it will be actually an object. Okay, so here we will add some type definition of it. So what the type definition it could be, so for example it will be a record of record record of, will have generic type, and inside it will have a string. Then let me do here, we'll have, for example, we'll have a comma, then we'll have an object, and this object will be have icon, and icon will be the type of, so default icon type of LinkedIn. Then we will have label, a label, la label will be a string. Then we can have colors. Okay, color will be a string, something like this. So now inside it actually what we'll have LinkedIn icon, Twitter, and Instagram. Okay, so these things will have to be imported, so that's why let me import from here. So here what we will import, we'll simply import LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram from Lucida React, and the error has gone. Okay, so we'll have our interface definition. Right now we will work with it. Okay, so at the beginning here we will have to need params. So as it's a dynamic page, so that's why we need params. We'll have connotes, we'll have params, and we will get the params from use params hook. Okay, let me import this from actually next navigations. Use params will be came from next navigations, and whenever you use this, we will have to make it a use client derivative. Okay, so it will be use client derivative. Let me back it here. We'll have use client derivative here. Okay, after then hot next, after this line, let me take some space here. We will have some others states and others functionality. For example, we need router, so we'll have router and we will use router. So let me import it. It will be came from next navigations. Let me remove this space. Okay, so after then we need to get our user. So our user will came from where? Look, our user will came from use user hook. Okay, so here we will get the user from use user hook. Okay, use user hook from actually Insforge / next. Okay, so here we'll destructure user and is loaded. Okay, so very common thing. After then hot next, after then here we'll have a use state for projects. Okay, so we'll have const, we'll have project, and it will be set project. Okay, we'll have use state, and let me import this use state. After then we will have for post, we'll have something like this. We'll have post, so we will define the type of the interface of post, and for the loading state we will have something like this. Okay, so after then hot next, actually we need to filter. So sometimes we need to filter, so that's why here we'll have const, we'll have filter and set filter. It will be by default wall. Okay, perfect. I think right now everything is okay. Now based on these params, we need to get the project ID. Okay, so for doing that, here we will have something like this. Let me get the project ID, and it will came from the above params dot. Okay, let me rename it. It's actually be params, and here will be params dot id, and as it say actually string type data. Okay, perfect. So we'll have this. Now right now we'll have to fetch data. Okay, so we'll have to fetch data. How you can just fetch data for the actually projects and blocks. Here after this line we'll have const will have fetch data, and here we will use callback hook from React. Okay, so inside it we will have async async function. Okay, async function, and then also we'll have dependency. So let me add dependency. Okay, inside this async function, what you will have, so at first it will check if user there. If not user there, we will simply return it. Okay, after then we will get our project data from actually Insforge database by following this way. So let me define const here. So here what will be, here we will destructure data and we will rename it like pros data, that means project data. Okay, so we just rename it, and after then we will have wait, we'll call Insforge. So Insforge dot database, then after then we'll have from. So from where we will get that, we'll get that from projects. Okay, we'll have a collection of projects, and after then we'll have select. What we will select everything. Static means you will select everything from these collections, and after then we will have check equations, so that will be eq, and here we will based on it using id, so id will be based on project id. Okay, so it will actually check if the project id match, then it will return the data, otherwise not. And after then, so we will say it will be a single data, so that's why is a single. Okay, something like that. So after this line, what you can do, so after this line, if there is no project data, so we will do a if checking. If project data, if not found project data, we will simply let me define, we'll simply push to dashboard page, so router dot push dashboard page, and then we'll return it. Okay, but what if we get the project data, then we'll have this section. Okay, here we'll set the project data to set project. Okay, sorry, set projects. Okay, we'll have set projects, and inside this we will have to pass project data, pros data. Okay, so after perfectly doing that, here we will have to need to fetch the post data, so that's why here we will do search actually post data from actually database of the post collection, then we will get everything. We will did it based on the project id, and then we will order it using a asynchronous way, ascending way. Okay, so that is the something, sorry, descending way. So after then, what we will have to do, after then when post is fetched, you can simply say set post, we will post data, otherwise here we can do a optional checking, we will make a empty post array. Okay, something like this, and lastly we will make the is loading false, and here on this dependency we will have three things: user, project id, and router. Okay, it's actually perfect. And after that, what we will have to do, look, we'll have to create generate post actually, so that's why we'll have to handle create post function. Okay, so we'll write a function to handle create post. Okay, so it will be after this line, it will be, for example, a asynchronous function, async as async function, funct, and async function, the function name will be handle, handle, handle create post. And here let me remove this, here we will pass content, and this content will be empty for now. And inside it actually we will have to write logic. So here what we will do, whenever you want to need to generate content, at first we will check if user, then if user, then we will get if any errors happened from actually database. So here we'll have const, we'll get error, err or error, so it will be await Insforge database, and it will just came from the collection of post, so that's why from it will be post, post, and then actually we will insert, and what we will insert here, we need to insert project id. We'll have project id, content, status, and created at. Okay, something like this. Okay, so let me at the beginning project id, project underscore id, and this will be project id. Okay, so project id, then we will have user id, then we'll have content, then we can have a status, status draft. Okay, something like this. We will get to insert a new post. If the post is not created, then it will return the error. Okay, so after then we will just select. Okay, so that means these actually utility check the post. If there is no post, it will create a new post and then make it draft, and if everything works, then it will return success, otherwise it will return error. Okay, so here if errors happen, if error happen, we'll have to toast. Okay, so that's why let me insert toast. Okay, so from where it will be, let me insert TOAST, toast. So toast will came from actually sonnet, so it will be uh, let me insert it from actually sonnet. Let me check if it's where is. Okay, it's perfect. And after then here we will have the error status. So error dot something like this, fail to create post. Okay, I think it's much better to have this. Okay, yeah, you must have better to have this. Okay, something like this. Okay, I think this section is perfect for now. And before we do that, here we need a use effect hook. Use effect hook. So otherwise the above paste data will not work. So here we'll have a use state hook. I just missed that. So look, we'll have create a function here, but this function is not called it. You can see this actually not actually colored, that means it's actually not called it. So that's why we will add a use effect hook, and inside it we will call the function. Okay, so inside this what we will have, we'll check if is loaded, and if user have, then we can simply call the fetch data function, otherwise it's actually not be fetched. Okay, here we will call is loaded, then we'll have user and fetch data. Okay, something like this. So I think it's perfect for now. We'll have created our handle create function. And lastly, what actually we need, lastly we need to filter post, okay, based on the status. So that's why here we will have very simple logic. We'll have to define const filtered, filtered filtered post based on actually status. So that's why here we'll have filtered, then we will check wall. So if filtered actually wall, we will return post that will be post dot filter status will be filtered. Okay, something like this. And after this line, what we will have, we need to check status count, how many draft posts happened, scheduled post or published post happened. So that's why we need to create an object here, const, that would be a status count, status status count, something like this. Then it will be an object, will have all. So all will be post dot length, then we'll have draft and schedule and published post count. Okay, so all we have here. And after then actually what happened it, we can add a UI loading here. For example, if we can say is, we can say something like this, not is loaded. If not is loaded, here we can have loading, then here we can show some UI. So that's why here we'll return and we'll show some UI. So we can have div of something like this, then inside this we'll have some styling. Let me accept it. Okay, something like this type of a very common UI. I just created it. You can pause this video and do the same thing. It's very clean. Okay, and here we'll check if not project. Okay, if no project or not project, will return null. Okay, return null. That means if you cannot find any project, it will return null. Then we need meta. So for doing that, here we'll have meta, and we will just filter meta based on the platform meta. Then inside it we'll have to pass project dot platform. Okay, project dot platform, and if it's not found, here we'll have a optional checking, so that would be platform of LinkedIn. Okay, so if there is no platform, it will only work for LinkedIn. Okay, so something like this. And from here we will need to load icon, so we'll have const so platform plat from icon, and that would be meta icon. Okay, so our logic is completed. Now I actually skip the design part. You can just get the design and just replace it here on this div block. Okay, I will paste this. Actually, let me import the component. We'll have to import link from actually next link. Then we will have to import left array. Then okay, we'll have to need a import dialog component. We'll have need to import button component from UI. Then icons. Okay, well, you have to import this type of icons. Let me check it. Separator. Okay, here we need to have tabs. So let me check if it's working or not, and I'm going to here. So let me close stuff, all of this stuff. And for now, actually, to be safe, let me just rerun our projects. Sometime the cache will be stored, so that's why you can rerun your projects. I'm just rerunning it. Okay, so npm run dev, and right now we'll check it. For example, let me go to dashboard, and we can just start from actually sign out. Okay, so let me sign out happened it. I will just start from the beginning. We will at the beginning we'll go to sign in, and here we will go to Google sign in. So we'll choose our accounts. It's very common. Okay, sign in happened, and you can see inside this user. So this is your user. You just logged in right now, and after then at the beginning you can see inside this dashboard we don't have any projects, so we'll have to create a project. So let me click here and let me name a project. For example, it will be AI for developers, something like this. Then we'll choose a platform. Let me choose LinkedIn, and then let me create a project. Okay, it's actually creating now. Project created. Look, here is your projects, and inside this you will have post, but right now you don't have any post. Okay, so now let me go inside it and create some post. So I will go inside it. Here you can see we'll have the status bar. So right now we don't have any post, so that's why it will be 0 0 0. Okay, so here you have two options. You can create a post by clicking here. So if you click here, you can see a draft post is created, and if you need to edit, you can just edit it from here, and then you can just save it. Okay, so this is actually not my main goal. You can just click delete to delete it here, and this post is goes to delete. Okay, so right now actually my main goal is to show you generate post with AI. Okay, so we are just automating our post creation purpose. Okay, so here we'll have generate with AI. Click here. So right now you will have to share your idea. So for example, we want to know about remote job in UK, so that's why here let me define. So remote jobs in UK for developers. Okay, something like this. And now here you can choose tones. So for example, this is a professional post. I keep it professional. Then let me create generate content. So it's actually generating. It takes few seconds to complete a post for you. Okay, so let me wait. Here you can see your post is generated. You can use this content, or you can simply copy it and paste it on your social media platform. If you are not okay with this, you can regenerate it. If you click again, then it will be regenerate for you. Okay, so again regenerating, and you will have given another version of it. You can use it here. Look, a post is added, and right now we can see your post is here. If you need to change the status, you can just do all of this stuff. You can schedule, make post, or delete it. Okay, and for now actually let me try to generate another post and check if it's working or not. Okay, for now actually let me back to here, and for example we need to create a post for actually Instagram. Okay, so it's all about marketing campaign, campaign campaign, and for this actually we will choose Instagram platform. Let me create post, sorry, project, and here you can see our new project is created. Here we'll have on post, here we don't have any post. Okay, let me go inside it, and here actually let me generate with AI. So I will just say how to grow business one social media. Okay, okay, on Instagram, okay, something like this. And for this actually I will just choose inspirational type, and here let me generate content. Okay, it's actually working. Here you can see this is the exact format Instagram maintain to just reach your project. Okay, sorry, to reach your post. And if I just choose use this content, here your content is added. Your content is added. You can just again you can just schedule or mark as a published, and you can even delete it by clicking this delete options. Okay, so post is deleted, you can see it has gone. So by following this way you can create your own AI content creation platform, and create your social media content 10x faster with AI.